Alright, this is how we're gonna attack black tomorrow. It's gonna look real familiar to the conventional circle we did, but it's slightly different. What they like to do is have a box 2 and 2, but then they had up court pressure. And in this play, Kevin, pay close attention to what Brandon's doing because I think I got you playing point guard in the third grouping. And Kyle, pay close attention to what Kevin's doing in this because you'll be the designated shooter in groups 2 and 3. But so first off, this play doesn't start. This play can't start if Cedric doesn't stretch and get all the way up court and set a back screen on Brandon's man. So Brandon gets the ball in bounds. He gets a back screen. Now he's into the front court. This is going to be ran to the right to begin with. So he sucks these guys in. They have no choice but to engage him. They're the first line of defense. He moves the ball to CJ. After what we're looking to do is to isolate this guy and make him guard two people. After he moves the ball to CJ, it's gonna divert both of their attention here. Now, Kevin, you're not gonna wait for this screen. Originally in circle against the 2-3, we wait for the screen, get the screen, and then you pop out. He's not in position to cover where you're gonna go. So we're just basically gonna put him in between a rock and a hard place. As soon as you see CJ get that ball, maybe do like a half-second count, and you're popping out here looking for the ball. Brandon, once you pass it to CJ, don't sprint flash to the cup, but kind of eyes to the ball, and you're kind of doing a trot to the cup. Because what's going to happen is one of you guys are going to be wide open because this bottom X, what they were doing actually was following the shooter out. So say they follow him out, Kevin pops out here, and they follow him out. You got Brandon wide open for a layup. That's what they were doing. Now, if they decide to adjust, then obviously you'll get Kevin, and they keep this X here, and they decide to cover Brandon. Obviously, you got Kevin popping out wide open, and he's here for a set jump shot, or any jump shot is fine. But what I think would happen is, especially as many jump shots as Kevin hit, this guy's going to get sucked out after he catches it, and then Kevin will be free to move it down low. And the beauty is, even if this guy comes over to help, he's going to be slow in his rotations. He's going to be reacting. And I don't think they have guys, especially guys that play down low, that could defend the bucket. And now, Adrian is very important in this play. I'm going to start Adrian in place of Kyle, and I'm going to have Kyle play the groups 2 and 3. But Adrian, the weak side filler, as I call it, is very important because I actually don't even want him at the three-point line. I kind of want Adrian in here because what this does is it kind of sits in the back of this defender and this defender's head to kind of suck them over to this half of the court, and especially to keep this guy in his mind. So after we do all the action and we got Kevin here and Brandon here for this guy, so he's occupied, he can't just come over and help on Brandon because he's kind of thinking about Adrian. So to draw it up one more time. And this sounds complex, but like anything else, it gets real simple when you get into the game. The most important things are Cedric has to be down before the ball even gets inbounded. Be like right here, Sid. And that way, once Brandon gets it, all you got to do is come a couple of steps and set this back screen on his man. And now he's free. They're doing full court pressure, but they're not defending the first pass. So he's going to have a free run. And again, we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. CJ here. CJ is going to be the passer. CJ doesn't even need to dribble at this spot. Honestly, all he's got to do is catch the ball, maybe do a shot fake, maybe do a pass fake, and then look to get the ball to either Brandon or Kevin. After he passes the ball to CJ, he's going to kind of trot through. As soon as CJ gets the ball, Kevin's going to do a half count and pop out. At this point, this defender's going to have to pick one of them to guard. What they were doing is popping out and guarding him. CJ can move that ball right into Brandon, and then we got a good aggressive shot at the bucket. If all else fails, let's say this doesn't work out like it's drawn up, all that's going to happen is, say it after you set this screen, come back to the front court, get the ball at the top of the key, and then you reset. Look to get it out of your hands, and then you're resetting in a 1-3-1. Secondly, very important. I know this is getting kind of drawn out. Thank you if you're still listening, but they will trap. I don't know if they were talking to one of the coaches. They think that we can't handle a trap, which we can. We did a good job against it with Green. But focus on eyes. When you guys are where you're supposed to be, CJ, where you're supposed to be, Kevin, where you're supposed to be, Adrian, where you're supposed to be. Keep your eyes down court to be knowledgeable of if they start to press. Because if they do press, it's just like we said. Space the floor, eyes to the ball. Said you're gonna be right here, about ready to set your screen, and then if your eyes are to the ball and they're back towards your point guard, Brandon at the time, you'll see that they're trapping, and you just occupy areas so that when two come to him, he has options, 1, 2, 3 to go to, and then Kevin can kind of float around. He could stay here at the basket to force a defender to stay back there. Or Kevin could come up here and flash the ball. He could do whatever he wants to do. That's the beauty of, that's the good part of a trap that you don't see. If the entire offense is playing in unison against the trap, then you're essentially playing 5-on-4 because they got two guys at one spot, which means you got one guy that's going to be open at all times. The key is everyone has to be looking to get the ball at that point so that you could win the battle of numbers. They went to it time to time. They didn't trap a lot, but it was a couple of times where they full court trapped us. And let's see. Again, we should be masters of white, but if after it breaks down, and say you got the outlet to Cedric coming up court after that pick, all you guys are gonna do at that point is just set up in a 1-3-1. So it'll be Brandon here, Kevin here, let's go. CJ here, Kevin here, Adrian here. And that's what you're going to go to out of default. After you run the play and say it doesn't generate an open look or something happens that's funky that I can't draw up and can't account for, just fall into this and keep the floor space, move the ball, pump fake away from where you're passing it to, just all that good stuff. Because you guys did a pretty good job with that when in the set off. Once the play broke down, that was reassuring to see that you guys were still able to get points and find open space and move the ball without running the play perfectly. So if it doesn't work perfect, I have confidence that you guys will be able to, figure that out. But so I just need Kyle to be confident in this spot. Most important thing for you, Kyle, is to flash as soon as this wing, a beat after this wing gets the ball. After the passer gets the ball, you're gonna kind of be hiding behind the defender. Like, say the defender is right here, he's gonna know you're there because we're gonna set up there all the time. But try to kind of be in here. You know what I'm saying? And as soon as he gets it, half a beat, and then boom, pop out to try and occupy him. If he doesn't want to follow you, fine, go ahead, set up and take that shot. And if you do get it and he follows you, look to dump it down to the point guard who's going to be reoccupying this spot that he just vacated. And Kevin, like I said, just pay attention to Brandon. Said should be here. It should be no moves needed to get the ball up the court. It should be no duress. Said should be here, he should be here, setting a sound screen, not moving, take about 3 steps forward, and here, because the defender's going to have his eyes forward. He's guarding Kevin. All Kevin's got to do is maybe one little stutter step, and boom, run him off of that screen, and now we're into our offense. He gets up here, passes it to the wing at that time, cuts through, and now we're into our play isolating him. So that's pretty much all we're going to do. Any questions, just shoot them towards my text. Cause now's the time to ask them. Let's try to get there about 30 minutes early so we could demo it, run through it. But it's not too much different than a regular circle. So, yeah, it's go time. Second season. Let's get it done.